It's time for the hottest show in America. It's time for the Al Rucker Show, where you get the 411 from A to Z, special guests, and much, much more. So buckle up for a wild, wild ride. The Al Rucker Show starts now.
Thank you for tuning into the Al Rucker Show. As always, you got Seven the Poet.
Say, man.
You got Nikki Woods.
Yep.
And today we got comedian Keisha Hunt.
Yeah, buddy.
Better known as Niece Few.
I'm the number one niece few.
Niece
Number
few.
one uncle.
Uncle.
Auntie.
See, now you have to explain it because not everybody
Auntie.
knows.
Hold
both
on.
of them.
I ain't finished yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And yours truly, Al Rucker.
Lord.
Well, God, I can't cut
You
that
do.
part out.
You can't cut that part out.
Sorry.
You can't. Nah,
Sorry,
all right.
host man.
Go ahead and explain Niece Few.
Niece few, uncle, auntie. I'm both of them. I'm your aunt and your uncle. Uncle.
All mixed together in one
Yeah.
fun pint-sized package.
A pint-sized uncle. I like it.
Because you're all of what, like 4'11"?
In a half.
Okay. All
You-
right. Claim it.
Nah,
Give me my half.
Claim it.
you got to take all that. So, Nikki, what we got going on today?
We got a lot going on. We have Rob Hill, who is just a social media phenomenon. He's going to stop by and power us up. We're going to be talking about Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which it is as we round it out. And then we are going to do all of our favorite segments. Ask Al, Out Front, lots of good stuff.
October got a mask on.
Why does October have a mask on?
Because I get confused, man. You know how many months October is?
Yeah, October is a special.
It's breast cancer, it's
Halloween.
domestic violence.
Halloween.
National Foot Health Awareness Month. I found that out.
National Foot Health Awareness Month.
I have a client who's a podiatrist, and I just found out it's National Foot Health Awareness Month.
So, what does that do?
National
Take your
Foot
feet
Health.
to the doctor?
Yeah,
Okay.
take your feet to the doctor today. Very
What
good.
the-
With all these new days, man.
I bet
Very
there's
good.
more women go to the doctor about their
Boy,
feet
I
than
was just
men.
finna say it.
My sister need to go.
Yeah, because why their feet curve to the left and the right sometimes?
Because they shoes been
They
pulling
shoes
their
be-
toes over like that.
Okay, we'll talk. We can talk more about that in just a little bit.
I don't know
but
what kind of
first,
shoes it is.
we-
Okay.
You ever wore heels?
Yes, I have before.
That
I
got
have.
to be the funniest sight I've ever seen.
I'll bring that picture up here. I was a bad one.
Please
Come on,
bring
baby.
that picture. You wore some heels?
How
I
long
wore
ago
heels.
was it?
It was a long time ago. I think it was homecoming 1999.
That
Was
is
that before the
funny.
conversion?
No. Yes.
She's not a van,
Right. Or a vampire.
right?
No.
We've
They
got
are-
we've got a
It's
lot
the
of great.
coming out.
We've got a lot of great music coming up, including D'Angelo Brown Sugar. That is on the way, and some new music from Freddie Jackson, and a surprise. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but she's got new music out as well. So we will do all of that when we get back on the Al Rucker Show.
Freddie Jackson.
You are my lady.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. And we're at the segment we call Hot Topics. And right now, I want to know what's going on with Nicki and Cardi B. You know what's going on with that segment?
I mean, it's classic. Nicki being the old head, Cardi coming in, and she's making a lot of steam. I personally think the bottom line is Cardi has been the number one selling hip hop female for the past 2 years, but they had some issues. Like it was a song, the motorsport song. Mm-hmm. So Nicki drops like 3 different verses, and now all that says to another MC is that you feel like you can't compete with what you already did. So then she said, if Cardi's the QB, I'm Nick Lombardi. Like you the coach. I mean, you the player, but I'm the coach. I run shit. I run it. But Cardi had a problem with that, and then Nicki was like amen and basically liking tweets that were kind of negative.
Well, they were talking
To
about Cardi
Cardi.
B as a mother, and Nicki was retweeting. This was
wow.
right before Fashion Week.
Right.
And that's what
Right,
kicked
right.
that beef off.
Right. So then she said, Ra Ali, her security, ragdoll Cardi. You know what I'm saying? Said, Cardi got beat. Now, Cardi did have one knot on her head, but one knot does not justify
It was a
you getting
big old
ragged.
knot, though.
But you didn't get ragdoll. Well, nobody in there was gonna stand by and let Cardi B get ragdoll. You know what I mean? And then it was that kind of stuff. Like every time, or so Cardi say, every time it was beef, whoever they had beef with, whoever Nicki Camp had beef with, they numbers get leaked. So then they leaked the number. Cardi was dropping the receipts though and the facts.
I mean, it was like they were going back and forth. It looks
forth,
like
yeah.
they've kind of calmed down for now, but Nicki was like, we want you to take a lie detector
Right.
test on all of these, everything that you said to prove it. And
She told the people she had 100,000 for the camera.
yeah, but she said she had the footage originally, and now she wants 100,000 for somebody to give her the footage. So it's just
wow.
Yeah, she recorded on her phone. She wanted the club's camera.
yeah, but she
Angle.
still never gave us the footage from her phone.
We saw it though.
So
We saw that.
well, yeah, but we want to see the footage from her phone. She talked about she got the footage from her phone. Why can't we see the footage from her phone? Because she don't have the footage on her phone.
Listen,
I'm just
ain't no-
saying.
Well,
Ain't
she want to
nobody
spend her
gonna
100K.
ragdoll
Let's reenact it and then send it to us so we can get the
Yeah, so we
100K.
can get the $100,000.
Yeah, so I think.
But I mean,
You
just
could-
but
no.
just they're fired up. They're passionate.
go.
Take a little listen to this. I just can't listen to Cardi. I mean,
Man.
Cardi is just hilarious to me. Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah.
I got it.
I'm gonna
did
tell
it.
you though. I'm
What you do?
Oh,
She does it like after she makes a big statement. It's like to emphasize how big it was.
Right.
I love Cardi. Cardi a cutie to me. I mean, I like Nicki too. But Cardi just like now, when she talks, she says some stuff that I just can't necessarily agree with as an educator. Like she's saying, "Where's the footages? Where's the
Yeah,
footages?"
but what
New
you
York,
have to
though.
love about Cardi is she does not care.
Care, she don't
Right.
care. I
She
mean, who cares?
she does not care,
Yes,
and
yes.
that makes it. I like Cardi. I like
Right.
Nicki too, but it's like you got Nicki who's like the old head, you got
Yeah.
Cardi who's the new
You're
one,
hot,
and
Nicki.
yeah, and
the old
so
head.
well, Nicki Minaj. We're talking about Nicki Minaj. But it's just interesting. It's like why can't we as women and as a community just get along?
'Cause y'all
Like
got
why
on too
can't we
much
get along?
makeup.
I knew we.
Too much
Boom.
Anywho.
Worried
There
about,
it is.
Worried about who got the
It'll
cheap
never be a
weave on.
natural right.
Right, we've been talking about makeup off the air. We're going to talk a little bit about it,
Whoever got the cheap
on the air
weave.
since we've been talking about it so much off the air. And clearly, this is an issue for you today. So I want to make sure you get it off
It's
your
not an
test.
issue for me. I don't wear makeup.
But the old
Clearly,
school
it's an
women
issue for
still
you.
do.
Yes, yes.
Ooh.
Mary Kay,
Mary, I know,
no, the corner store, Walgreens.
Fashion Fair.
Yeah, they still wearing fashion fair like
That
Sister
is
Bernadine
funny.
is got
Sister
too.
Bernadine.
She got too much on.
You like women with makeup?
Wait,
No,
hold on, before you answer this.
You don't like women that wear makeup?
no, I do not.
Why?
Because I got good pillowcases,
that's funny.
and I do
That's
not want that
that is
on my
the truth.
pillowcase.
The worst thing is to be so tired when you get home that you want to go right to bed and you forget to wash your face.
That's
And you
ooh,
wake
see.
up with a whole eye
You
print.
get your half
That
right.
is
Your
crazy.
half of
Too
your
much
face
going
is on your
on.
thing.
Man, let me tell you
So
something.
you got.
I dated a chick
Why don't you
who
just
had
you
to
don't
have-
change the pillowcase before they come? Just change the pillowcase.
I do change them before they come.
Just put
But
some
when they
cheap ones
leave-
on.
But when they
Wow.
leave, look here, man.
Man, I dated a chick
Y'all crazy.
who had to have them lashes.
Uh-uh.
And the
I
lashes-
would find
Sorcery
lashes
and magic.
everywhere, man. I would find lashes everywhere, bro.
It's like-
Examples.
it's
Give
funny
us
'cause
examples
well-
where you would find it at.
Oh Jesus!
Man, I found a lash under the sink.
What?
Why
the
were you
hell
under
in
the
the sink?
sink?
Why?
Why were you under the sink?
Because that's where I keep cleaning supplies.
Ow.
Oh,
Now,
so
the
she
question
started.
is,
She went.
why was the
Eyelash
eyelash
under
under
the
the
sink.
sink?
Oh, my
Because she was
God.
trying to find out where you keep cleaning
Watch this
supplies.
out. Now the funniest part that I
That's
found
She had an
was an
accident.
eyelash. I found an eyelash in my underwear.
You did.
Okay.
Wait a minute, you
Well,
found what?
Yeah, you heard what he said. You heard what
You
he
said-
said.
No, I'm just
Eyelash
making
in
sure.
his drawers.
In his drawers, and we're not going to talk any more about it.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
I like that though.
I
but
didn't
this is-
what?
I want to know
You
how.
act like that's illegal to say or something.
Oh, she
Well,
put
I
that
don't
down.
know. I
But-
don't think
but-
that's illegal to say, but what you about to say next just
No,
might be.
see, I already know what he was about to say.
Oh Lord.
He found a lash in his underwear because she was washing his clothes,
Thank
And she
you,
rubbed
Al.
her.
And
And
she
she
got-
rubbed her eye.
and she
you,
got him,
Al.
and she got his clothes out the dryer.
How about that?
Keisha, you and I are going to have to talk about whose team you're on.
She on the fellas.
Today,
I mean,
yes.
it's-
Most of the time.
it's the guys.
It's like 3 against 1
It's
here,
the-
and it's not fair.
It's the
Well,
guys against the girls.
I'll be
The
on your
girl
side.
law.
I'll be on your side maybe once a month.
Ooh, y'all, wait a minute.
We've got a lot more coming up
Y'all
on the
do got
Al-
something
yeah,
common.
we've got a lot more coming
Y'all
up on
do
the
got
Al
something
Rucker
common.
Show.
That's
Power-
crazy. That's what she said. I didn't say
Hey,
that.
I'm trying to
That's
go to
the
break.
facts.
She
Oh,
said-
We're going to go to break. Power Up with Rob Hill is on the way, and also a lot of other stuff on the Al Rucker Show.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. You got Seven the Poet.
Say, Mike.
You got Keisha Hunt.
Hey.
You have Nikki Woods.
I can already tell we're going to have a kind of day
And-
that I'm not used
And
to.
you got yours truly, Al
Al-
Rucker.
Al-
You see I got my Black Panther shirt on?
Wakanda.
Oh, yeah, you
forever.
do.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Alice from Wakanda.
Very good.
Yeah. Oh, now I gotta be from Wakanda because I'm dark.
How did you
He-
say
Man,
he
you
be
that?
jumping.
trying to make
He
it
be-
happen.
Always, you always got something to do with dark. Rob, are you dark?
Rob is. Rob is a well. We can't. Rob. Rob. Welcome to the show. I was like, we can't go into all sorts of chocolate talk. Hey, Rob.
Hey, what's going on?
We are good. Rob Hill Sr., if you're not following him on social media like about 1 million other people are, you really should. He's known as a heart healer. He's an author, a proud Navy veteran, and entrepreneur originally from Chesapeake, Virginia. He's also a sought-after international speaker on relationships, purpose-filled living, and community organizing. And he is here for our Power Up segment today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. So part of what we do in Power Up is we really like to give people, concrete tips, a call to action. We want to get people moving in the right direction, especially in the social climate that we're living in. So tell me a little bit about how you have come to discover your passion and your purpose-filled living, and how you've been able to share that with others.
I like that question. Well, it started for me in, childhood. I grew up a military dependent. My stepfather was in the Army. I went to 11 schools out of 12 grades, and that was like my first introduction into relationship building and goodbyes too soon. Therefore, disappointment and i.e. heartbreak, because you just get attached to certain places. So I lived everywhere from California to Germany to Virginia, North Carolina, New Jersey. We bounced around. And I joined the Navy after that. In the Navy, I was tasked with some leadership roles. That taught me how to work with people, how to communicate, but it also taught me, I guess, just the principles of relationships. And it's like relationships rule our life. We have to learn how to work together in order to, one, have joy, sustain happiness. And then beyond that, I had a natural passion for writing. So that became my tool, my instrument to basically reach people.
And so you're known as the heart healer. What does that mean?
I think when people think of heart healing, they think of growth. They think of detachment from the pain and memory of disappointment. I think they think of expansion. There's a popular gospel song that says, "Created me a clean heart." I think people just think of refreshing. And when I write, those are some of the aims. I would like people to be able to shed some old skin, some old self-images, and don some new confidence, self-awareness.
I love that word,
and
refreshing.
hopefully bigger for life. Yes.
We're talking to Rob Hill.
What's
In
your
our,
laugh?
he's looking at my face. We're talking to Rob Hill in our Power Up segment. So what are some ways that people can start to refresh, that they can start to heal their heart?
Well, I don't want to make it feel like a taboo process, but the biggest thing people need to do is be honest with themselves. I was watching Red Table Talk, and Will Smith was talking about taking off the mask. And a lot of people just live with a mask, and it's usually the people who have the most masks that are accusing others of wearing them, but it's like what I found is that usually when I get to the center of my own problems or most people's problems, it's usually either a lack of awareness or a lack of honesty. Like, are you telling yourself the full story?
Right.
Are you being completely real with yourself? And then from there, there's an action step. Like, once you actually confess the truth, it's like, what are you willing to do to make reality meet the presentation you were trying to, give off,
Rob, it's crazy that this is Seven the Poet. It's crazy you talk about the whole mask thing because, people have to be ready to accept that they have a mask on. And, this might not go over well, but here we go.
Here we go.
I tell chicks all the time, like a lot of your image is rooted in deception. Like, like that's not how you really look. You get up, you put a mask on every day. And I know you probably talking about it from a more psychological standpoint, but that is a psychological standpoint because that's not what's really happening with you. You know what I mean? So, I mean, what would you tell? Okay, go ahead.
Well, I guess I'll let you finish your question. I don't want to answer prematurely.
I just feel like it's hard.
Yeah,
It's
well,
hard to in relationships. You know, in the traditional style relationship, sometimes it's hard to, get chicks just to be honest with themselves about or love on themselves because they so unhappy already.
Yeah, and it's like a person who's mad. The one thing they don't want to hear is somebody say you mad, right? So it's like when somebody isn't happy, they don't necessarily want to be reminded of their unhappiness or the presentation of their unhappiness. They want to be introduced to environments, energy, or situations that can cultivate new energy, right? So when I am hopefully encouraging, because it seems like it's like you have to. I've heard some women say, I couldn't get some makeup, so I had to walk out the house looking a mess. And it was like, you mean the face that God made is the one you calling a mess? The one
No,
that you
and
made up.
that's a good point, because some women do. I know I have a girlfriend, and she wakes up half an hour every day before her husband wakes up, so that she can put on makeup. Yes.
Why does she do that?
Yes, because she doesn't want him to see her without it.
He saw it when he went to bed.
The terminology is like put on my face, and it's like
sit on
right.
my face.
So there
put
is
on
a
my
certain
face.
element of
that's what he said.
there is a certain element of romance that is all about illusion.
Yes.
And it is a certain element of the way we relationship build right now that really leads to disappointment, and that's kind of why I even accepted the term of heart healer sometimes, because it's just like I'm just trying to guide people towards a more literal sense of love, which is you actually have to accept it as unconditional or it's not real.
Well, you are doing a phenomenal job. I mean, you have all of us following you on social media. Your Instagram is always popping, your Twitter, plus you're writing all these books. So we really appreciate you. Tell people how they can connect with you online or social media.
They can go to robhillsenior.com. It's ROBHILLSR.com. Or they can take Rob Hill Senior on all social platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr.
You on Tumblr?
yeah.
He on everything.
He on everything. Rob, thank you so much. I am so glad that you were able to spend some time with us today, and we will definitely check you out, but we appreciate all that you're doing. We've got a lot more show coming up, so we want you to stay tuned. Ask Al, Out Front, Ass of the Week, all on the way.
All on the way. Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. As always, yours truly, Al Rucker, and everybody else.
Al Rucker and gang.
Okay.
Gang.
That's funny.
Gang.
That's what I got. My two hitters on my left, and my shooter on the right.
Okay, now.
All right,
We'll
cool.
take them out.
All right, let's go. What we got, Nikki?
Speaking of shooting, Pharrell has a shot from the hip on this one. Apparently, Donald Trump decided he was going to do. He was out doing a rally or something, and of course, this is on the heels of all of the tragedies that we had last week. Such a sad week when it comes to hate in our country and those losing their lives because people, are harboring this hate. And so, I guess Donald Trump had the brilliant idea that he was going to play Pharrell's "Happy" at one of his rallies to try to get people in a good mood. And Pharrell was like, partner, no, you're not. And he sent the president a cease and desist letter to keep him from playing "Happy."
I mean, Donald Trump is really, that boy is school on Saturday.
He a gangster.
No class.
No, I mean, to tell you, but it's just so amazing to me that because the presidency used to mean something. I mean, like there was some respect. People respect.
Yeah, they used to be a title to have.
Mean something.
People would have died if President Barack Obama had played their song or had them perform or invited them to the White House. I mean, it was a big deal.
Yeah, nobody wants to go now.
Nobody wants to go hang out with Trump except Kanye West.
People trying to get out of the White House.
Oh, okay. Quickly,
Everybody trying to get out of there.
So he has sent, and he's actually threatening some legal action if he doesn't stop. But
But you can't sue the president.
you can sue the president.
But they can't do anything until he's out of the White House.
it doesn't matter.
Wait,
Man,
fact
I'm
check.
telling you.
Where did you get that info, bro? You
Check it
can't
out.
sue the president.
You can sue, but he ain't gonna do anything. You got 4 white women that have accused him of raping them, and that what's going on with that case. You can't
He's still out here grabbing.
You can't incriminate a sitting president. You can't do that.
Well, he can be impeached.
You gotta be
he
impeached
can be
first.
impeached, but
I'm
you
saying,
have to go through the process.
you gotta go through
for
the process.
Sure.
You can sue him all day long, it ain't gonna go nowhere because he's a sitting president. You can't do anything.
I
Trust me.
honestly don't know the
I need to be
technicalities.
president.
No,
behind that.
trust me. That's why they saying that at the end of the day, if your boy ever gets him, it would have to be year 5. I mean, Trump can't get reelected. They have 5 years to charge him with something.
Well, all I know, if
So if
Trump
he's charged
can,
with a crime,
if
they got
Trump
5
can
years to
change
charge.
all these laws without going through the legal process, the latest thing now is that he wants to say that any illegal immigrant that comes here and has a baby, that the baby will not be a U.S. citizen.
So that means his son ain't gonna be one.
Right.
Well, but this is
That's
going
right.
forward. I mean, his son has
that's-
already
no,
won.
What they saying? I heard this morning on CNN. They was talking about retroactive. He basically trying to.
He can't even do going forward, so it doesn't even matter. It's
All
like
his
he just talks about stuff that he wants to do. He doesn't even check to see if he can actually do
Because
it.
all his
Yeah, because
kids
he
would
figured
not
he the
be.
president. He can do whatever.
He thinks because he's Donald Trump. It's just too much. But we'll see what happens with Pharrell. We've got a lot of good stuff coming on. We went on a road trip recently. We're going to share how that experience went. We were at Northwestern State University. It was really good. So we're going to talk more about that. And then, we've got Power Up and a lot of good stuff coming up. And then some other good stuff in the news. I want to talk about, yes.
I want to ask you one question about Northwestern State.
Yes. Yes.
What was the highlight?
The highlight?
Go on, say it. It's one word.
I think I know what you want me to say.
Who was the highlight of Northwestern?
The Qs?
The Q. The Qs, baby. The Qs was the
Keisha,
highlight.
we're going to talk more about this,
Okay.
but the Qs came from, these weren't even Qs that were on Northwestern's campus.
Yeah.
These Qs traveled. And
Qs
these
in the
Qs
building.
stepped during the entire radio
Yeah,
show. They did
danced.
not stop.
They
you serious?
they
Not
stepped
stop.
to everything.
They
Slow music, Luther, everything,
We
silence.
got it. We got it. We got it.
They
on,
stepped to Luther.
no, we got it on video. We got it
Yeah,
on
and
video.
and
Run it.
silence, like
Yeah.
no music.
No music. They
No
was just
music.
stepping.
The bros, man, you gotta love.
You gotta
the
love the
bros.
Qs.
And then
No.
watch this here.
Just say
They
no.
wasn't even in the step show.
No.
Nah, they
looked
did.
up the Qs was on the stage.
That's why they cute.
No, we
They finna
wanted them to
violate the
come.
step show.
We were like at an auditorium and we were on a stage and we wanted them to come stand in front of the stage so that they could do something. They came. They were taking mics. They were on the stage. They were sitting in. We were like, "Hello." I was like,
Sure did go
I
take
reclaimed the mic. I reclaimed the mic. So we got more hot topics on the way. Also, a lot of good music, and we're going to talk to Rob Hill Sr. In our segment Power Up. So you don't go anywhere. We will be right back with more of the Al Rucker Show.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. And we're at that segment we call Hot Topics. And I think I don't know if this is really a hot topic, but I'm going to let you go with it.
I'm fascinated by it. We talked about it a little bit earlier about loud eating and how it annoys me. And then you all told me it was a thing. I didn't believe it was a thing, but it is a thing.
It's a thing.
And it's a lady from Houston that has made it a thing. It's ASMR. And it is kind of a therapy for people, and it is really loud food eating. And a woman has become a YouTube star because she eats loudly into the microphone. Here is just an example of loud eating by this lady. Wow. So those are pickles. Those are pickles, but she takes requests from fans, and she will chew whatever food. She'll tap her nails, and it's all about the sound that it makes.
See, let me tell you, just for the sake of me being a jerk,
Yeah.
I just call and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
let me see how loud you can eat some ice cream,
Oh my goodness.
On the cone.
some hot ice cream. let me see you eat this hot ice cream in stereo."
Yeah, great.
but
Somebody
it's-
can-
but
people
it's
do.
so-
You got people that can do that.
But the sole purpose
like
of
it.
this is to relax people. But for me, it seems to do just the opposite. Like, it irritates the heck out of me.
Hey,
I
let me
like
tell you
it.
something. Newsflash, Nikki. Everything irritates you.
That's not true.
The crunching. of
Everything
the
you
celery.
do irritates me.
Oh, okay.
Get that man some chips.
Yeah. It's chips, it's Twizzlers, it's everything. So but that is just amazing. I mean, and she's a big deal. She is a big deal.
She is.
She is a big
You
deal.
chew a whole pickle in the microphone and make some money. I've been
Man.
sleeping on the wrong side of the
Wrong business.
I've been smacking all my life, and my mama been hitting me in the back of the head. If you don't chew with your mouth closed, and this lady's made a career out of it.
Straight up.
Funny. That is
That's
funny.
retarded.
We talked a little bit earlier before we went on the air. Lots of stuff going on. Lots of stuff with our celebrities. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Lots of stuff with the presidency. We're going to work in that. But then I was looking at some stuff that's going on in some of our major companies, and Google is having a problem. Did you all see that story? Mm-hmm. So they're having a walkout because they say that they're hiding someone who's committed, he's sexually harassing employees. So they had a big walkout with the women in order to protest. And so, I'm just worried, how is this going to affect stuff that
My
we need to
Gmail.
get done on Google? All right, what is going to go on here?
Google got it covered.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They got it covered. But I just think it's interesting that that so many different things are happening in all these major organizations, and it just took one person saying something kind of to tip this over. Now the Me Too movement is so firmly underway that I think that
I walk around. I'm gonna tell you what I do now. I
goodness.
just tape my hands. I just walk around. Hey.
You're going to have to tape your eyelids next, because
They gonna say you looked at them.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. Yeah. And the thing that I found most interesting about being sexually harassed at the workplace is that it doesn't even have to be directed at you. Right. So it could be another conversation that coworkers are having that has nothing to do with you. You don't have to be a part of it, but if it's offensive and you ask them to stop and they don't stop, it's considered sexual harassment.
Me and Al could never have a job at the same place. We going to.
But I was like, then I've been sexually harassed pretty much every day of my career, because that's just the way it is in radio. People talk about stuff you don't necessarily want to hear about.
Crazy.
I mean, but it's just in different environments, it's different things. But I don't know if everybody knows, what the
I wonder if you
technical.
sitting here talking about that girl was eating a pickle. Is that sexual harassment?
Yeah, it might be, because,
in the way she was eating and holding the pickle, because she was holding the pickle like this.
Oh, see, now, I don't know about all that, but
I'm just saying she was
Well,
holding.
he imitating what that
I'm
was.
just
that
saying
lady was
it's on
doing.
YouTube.
And I'm uncomfortable.
Well, why'd you watch the video? Why'd you watch the video?
The video didn't have anything
Hey,
to do
hey,
with what.
let me open the door. Your hands tape.
That
Judge.
is funny.
I was like, Judge, I was not there.
Yeah, review the audio. Here we go.
That's crazy.
We're going to power up with Damon A. Williams. That is coming up. We've got some more hot topics and obviously a lot of great music, including Lil Duval, Ella May, and so much more. And also, we're going to have some of your favorite segments, including Ask Al Out Front and Ass of the Week. All of that is coming up on The Al Rucker Show.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. Seven the Poet, Nikki Woods, Keisha Hunt. So we still in hot topics. What we got going on, Nikki?
Well, Halloween has passed, and of course we had some really cute costumes. We've had a lot of fun, a lot of candy, but then there also been some costumes that have gone wrong. We had the father who decided it would be a good idea to dress as Hitler as he took his son out in public, and I just can't even imagine why you would do that. We've had he said he loves history and that's why he did it, but
Where he from?
I don't know. I think he's from D.C. I think it's the D.C. area. No, he's from Kentucky, and so he dressed his son in Adolf Hitler. He apologizes for that. We had another little girl who was in a costume that could not have been complete without having a gun, and that went viral. And so we got some, we heard some flack about that. But as parents, do we think this through? Do we think about these things?
I think they think it's harmless. It's a costume. So kids just having fun. I mean, I understand. I do and I don't understand the complaints about the Hitler costume.
Okay, so why do you think it's okay? Why do you?
I guess the question would be, tell me why it's not okay. Then I could probably better answer that. Why is it not okay?
I think that probably
Hitler.
just for political correctness that most people are offended by Hitler, and to dress your 5-year-old son, I think people just took offense.
But it's okay to dress up as black-faced if you're a white person.
I don't
No,
think anybody
that's
ever
not
said it
okay.
was okay.
That's what I'm saying, but they do it.
But that
They do
doesn't
all
make
the
it
time.
I
okay.
shouldn't do that either.
We not talking about it on the radio.
And okay. The relationship between America and Hitler, whatever, got it, get it, good. The Confederate flag can fly. It's not treason. It's not seen as treason, but it is, in fact.
Oh yeah, clearly flying a flag that's not the official American flag is treason.
But they let that one ride.
But just like the
Not
father
no
said,
more.
people excuse it and say it's a part of our history, and that's why it's
true.
still.
Which is true.
That's why they still use it.
Yeah.
But I think honestly, and if I get flack for this, I get flack for it. But I think it's different because the Confederate flag is offensive to African Americans, and Hitler really was more offensive to Jews than African Americans, and I think there's a difference.
We ought to all dress up as Nat Turner.
Boom. Boom.
And we gonna go burn some stuff
The
and
whole,
overturn.
everybody.
Scare the mess out of everybody.
Yeah, I think if Hitler had I just think it's different, and I think that more people are sensitive and more outspoken than necessarily it would be if it were black people, unfortunately. But I just think that that's the true case. So, so definitely, and did you go trick or treating 7? What did you do for Halloween?
I can't say where I went. What I
He was a
did.
puzzle scrambler.
Oh, he was doing.
I puzzled.
He puzzled by candlelight on Halloween.
Yeah.
Okay.
You did not. Look at his face.
Yeah.
Okay. I won't.
Nikki,
get it.
what you do on Halloween?
I didn't do anything. I sat by. There are no kids in our neighborhood, so even though I buy candy and I turn the light on, I'm not disturbed. But my kids are old enough that they want to go with their friends and hang out. So it's like a night off for me. I'm good.
What about you, Keish?
I sat on the porch and just replayed K. Michelle.
Oh.
Get off my porch.
That you the one. Everybody's got one in the neighborhood. You the one.
That's me.
That's funny.
That's crazy. Well, I didn't do anything.
Nothing.
I watch basketball.
Do your kids come by? Are the kids in the neighborhood that come by?
Yeah, they do. My porch light is on.
Oh, okay.
Most of the time I turn my porch light on.
What? I do, and I pretend if I didn't have dogs, I would be really quiet. But I have dogs. Everybody's like, "Oh, you home? You home?" What kind of candy do you give out? Do you give out the good stuff, or do you give out the cheap?
No,
candy?
I give out the good stuff. I buy the M&Ms. I buy all the stuff. Starburst. I give out the good candy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you can't give them whack candy.
No, or the healthy stuff. We have
No.
people.
What's
We have
white candy?
Whack.
whack.
Oh,
We have neighbors on our
White
street who
candy.
try to give them like the apples, the
yeah,
healthy,
no.
the
Yeah,
fruit,
they-
the fruit bars.
Well, I want.
They didn't
We gotta
drink
go
some-
old school on some Scrooge.
pecans.
Next Halloween, I'm gonna give away lump of coal. A lump of coal in a sock.
As long as it's real cold and you turn it into a diamond.
But
Get
these,
out the books.
well, I'm talking about Kingston. These calls came out. These calls came out of
You ain't
Walgreens.
even got to put no lighter fluid on. They
Yeah.
just light up.
Oh my goodness. We are going to power up with Damon A. Williams. Trust me, when you are going to want to meet this young man. He has a phenomenal mind, and he is going to share some tips with us on how we can organize in our communities. We also are going to learn more about cuffing season and how women should approach and I guess survive and turn it into something long lasting if that's what you want to do. And of course, a lot of great music. So all of that and much, much more on the Al Rucker Show.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. 7 the Poet, Nikki Woods, Al Rucker, and comedian Keisha Hunt. I ain't give y'all time to say nothing.
No, I
Nothing.
see. Go ahead. No chirp, nothing.
No,
Go ahead.
nothing. So anyway, right now we got another segment of Power Up, and this is Damon Williams.
Damon A. Williams. He is a community producer, organizer, hip hop performing artist. He's an educator. He's a media maker. He is from the South Side of Chicago, and he is also the son of one of our favorite people, comedian from Chicago, Damon Williams. And so I've always heard your dad talk about you. And so, when everything went down in Ferguson with Mike Brown, obviously you just kind of, you burst onto the scene. You were, you really took on a leadership role. And it was so impressive that when we started doing this segment, you were one of the first people that I wanted to talk to. And so you have an organization. It is called the Let Us Breathe Collective. It's an artistic activist organization birthed out of Supply trips to Ferguson. You did all of this kind of stuff. You did so much. So tell us a little bit about, the steps that you had to take in order to be in the forefront and organize in your community.
A lot of it I have to account for like the blessing or the privilege I have with the relationships in my family. So from a very young age, I was doing advocacy work and public speaking around financial literacy and economic inequality. Probably started doing that around age of 9. I also had a background in performing and acting. And my sister is a hip hop performer, playwright, poet. And so between my relationship with my mother, father, and sister, I kind of developed the skills to be determined to be a change agent. And so as I started to get my education, I had the central question of why do the South and North Side of Chicago look so differently? And what can we do? What can we create? What can we build to address that inequity? And in asking that question, I began to learn a lot about the systems of power that really determine how our society operates.
Now, the Let Us Breathe Collective believes in building social, political, and economic power through the tenets of healing, organizing, and creativity. Now, I was on the phone with David and I were on the phone yesterday for like 45 minutes strong, and I just was amazed at the way that your brain works. And I told him, now look, not everybody functions like you, including me. So we have to really break it down. And so you broke it down into 3 sections, and I want to talk a little bit about each one: healing, organizing, and creativity. So let's talk about healing.
Yeah, so we start there first. So from our work over the last 4 years of trying to oppose the systems or imagine and design alternatives, we learn how difficult it is for people to work together. And it's not because we're bad, or it's not because our generation is, problematic in any type of way. It's because we've been harmed, from our environment to the centuries of violence. Specifically, we're talking about Black people that we've experienced. So those generational traumas are so deeply embedded in us that we not only, engage in unhealthy activity that is self-harming, we often project out our limitations on each other. And so in order to really build, we have to account for, what these last 400 to 500 years have meant for Black people all over the world, process that and begin to heal, to be healthy, right? Because the word health is just an expression of to be healed. And so that has to happen first, or else no matter, I can say all the right words, I can, make the beautiful song, but we won't be able to get anywhere if we are tearing ourselves and tearing each other down. And so making sure that is just as important as the legislation or as the protest, is making sure that our people are okay and that we have a human-centered, life-centered focus.
What about the organizing?
So, organizing kind of becomes, at the center. The problems that we face are not random, right? They did not just emerge out of thin air. They've developed from coordinated processes. So we're not going to build movements, and we're not going to have lasting change through random activity. So to organize means to coordinate. It means to build a structure. And so our activities can't be loose. It needs to be planned. It needs to be strategized. We need to evaluate ourselves. So I made a list of some things people can do to organize for real power, because we could talk about the things that we need, but just like some of the activities, our town halls, people's assemblies, street teaming. So basically just getting out in the neighborhood and asking people questions or providing people information, using our social media as an activist space, mobilizing and redistributing resources. We know people need food, clothes, goods for their household, technology, and even money if we got it. And then you can also lobby and petition public officials and do different forms of direct action, join or form organizations or draft legislation, right? That is some of the examples, and it's not limited to that. And what the objective of all of that organizing is to create new solutions and new alternatives to divest from the violent systems that we invest in publicly, so namely police and prisons, because we do not believe that those institutions keep us safe and they actually make the problem worse. And we need to figure out new ways to respond to harm and invest into the needs of our community. So things like housing, education, and public health.
Now we're gonna have to have you back, because we cannot get. I'm telling you, you are a wealth of information, and I'm actually gonna because you sent me a very detailed list, even more than what you just said about what people can do to get involved involved in the organizing. We'll put it up on the website so people can go and see. But we certainly are going to have you back. Tell people, and I know we have creativity left to go, but we're going to cover that another time because we're running out of time. But I want people to be able to find you on social media so they can experience you for themselves. They can see your creativity and follow what you're doing. So how can we connect with you on social media?
Definitely follow us at Let Us Breathe 773 on Instagram and Twitter. And my personal accounts is Damon_AF. As I've been working and developing some projects, I've been a little less Twitter active. So I'm trying to get back on there and spread some of this information. But Let Us Breathe 773 and Damon_AF is a good way to get in touch with me.
Is that does it mean what I think it means? Damon_AF?
No, but that confusion is welcome.
Okay.
And my sister were a hip hop poetic duo group called April Fools. Our mother's name is April. Our birthday is April 1st, April Fool's Day. So we are April Fools. And so, the double entendre is welcome, but also affirmation, Africa, and Alexander Free.
Got it. Thank you so much, Damon. We appreciate it.
Right.
Damon, his father is so proud of him, and I can definitely see why. My goodness. So we will have him back.
Yeah. I guess one of the questions I wanted to ask him, how did he get started in that versus comedy? Because you see most comedians' children
become Well, Damon, I think, has a little activism in him too, so I think he gets it honestly. But we're gonna have him back on because he definitely has a lot to share.
We definitely want to do that.
And we've got a lot more show coming up. We have Out Front, we have Ask Al, and we have Ass of the Week. All of that is on the way. So stay tuned. I know you love it, 7 on the Al Rucker Show.
Thank you for tuning in to the Al Rucker Show, and we're at the segment we call Hot Topics. So what we got going on? Okay. 7, what we got going on? Go ahead.
7 got Facebook.
I'm just messing with 7.
So everybody raise your hand if you're a Prince fan. I cannot wait. Ava DuVernay now is going to she is going to make a film. She's producing, directing, all that good stuff. Nobody said flex for the camera. She is going to bring Prince to life, to Netflix, and I cannot be more excited. I'm a huge Prince fan, and I'm just so fascinated by his life. He was such a creative story, but he had such an interesting childhood, growing up, family relations, all that stuff. So we are going to learn everything that we need to know about Prince. So I am really excited about that.
I could play him. I could play Prince. I'm going to holler at Ava. I'm the same height.
You could.
Lose a few
Could you
pounds.
rock the heels though? Because that's going to be a big part of it.
Well,
butt out.
Can you dance in them?
No, see, that's strike 2. I'm out.
But then, butt out, all of that.
I'll put my butt out.
I would love to see you in some heels. I would love to see
Okay,
you.
for Halloween is on. I'm gonna go ahead and put on some heels.
And it's got to be on Instagram. We got to all see it.
Oh, wait a minute. Y'all serious? Wait a minute. Back it up. Rewind.
Some heels and a skirt. And you got to carry a purse.
Hey, bro.
Listen.
You taking it too far.
Way too far. I'm going to get the type of attention I don't want.
Let me tell you something.
I was going
After
to bet you it was going to be a bet. But
I'll bet.
I keep the money.
After a certain time, you asking Keisha to put on a dress is like me asking you to put on one. It's just not. It's not. The thought ain't even.
They ain't going to
I
happen.
put on a choir robe. That's as close as it's going to get.
Oh my gosh.
I'll put on the choir robe.
Funny.
As long as I can put on my Jordans and my Levi's up under that, then we good.
Man, I heard some people don't be having nothing on choir robes to be hot.
And we don't
Or the judge robes. I've heard that too. Yes.
judge back there.
Because exactly, because it's hot and just
Judge
free.
back there free.
Just free.
Just free.
Just free. That is so funny.
But he too busy locking people up.
Right. For doing the same thing. Jingle bells. Okay.
I cannot. So we had Stephanie Rose Spalding, she's running for Congress. She talked to us about the whole Kavanaugh thing, and I just saw that Ben and Jerry have endorsed her and named an ice cream after her. She's got her own Ben and Jerry ice cream. I think that's incredible. That is. And then I was reading more about Ben and Jerry, and now they have an ice cream, an anti-Trump flavored ice cream that they just revealed, dubbed, and I guess it depends on where you're from, whether it's pecan or pecan, but it's Pecan Resist.
I bet that's nasty.
Probably disgusting.
It's chocolate ice cream with white and dark fudge chunks, pecans, walnuts, and fudge covered almonds. Now, I'm in, but I guess their whole resist thing is supposed.
Why not? It's still
because it don't represent really Trump. If they really want an ice cream that represents Trump, they need to come out with
A candy corn.
ass flavored orange sherbet.
Right.
Yeah, but I think they still want to sell some.
But why?
I don't know. I don't know, but they say that part of this is, fighting some of the policies and how, Trump is attempting to roll back, progress on not just racial, but also gender equity. And they cited the fight against Trump's administration, especially for LGBT rights. Okay. So,
well,
buy some ice cream.
I'm going to have to get some of that ice cream.
Buy you some pecan resist.
All right.
So Trump is down with the LBG community?
No, Ben and Jerry is.
I know Ben and Jerry,
Trump
but,
ain't.
But Trump got
But Trump's trying to reverse a lot of the progress that we have made, so they're doing this in protest of that.
I really think, man, that's his job. Like, his job is just to disrupt. Like, that's why they elected him. Like, just so he could just disrupt as much as he could, because that's the only thing he's doing.
That is the only thing he's doing. Only thing he's doing. I mean, he's like the one person that's like keeping Twitter active. Yeah. I mean, he's the reason Twitter is still around, because
he needs stock. He needs stock in Twitter.
But what is
he do.
He probably has it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He probably already has it, but I wish he would stop.
We'll keep wishing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
It's not.
Got 2 more years of Trump.
Ooh, that sounds like forever.
Yeah, but think about it though. You got to give Trump credit, because everybody thought he wasn't gonna make it 1 year.
Who cares?
I'm still not giving him credit for that.
No, I'm just saying, not credit, but he survived.
Right.
He's surviving.
But I don't know.
Doing everything
but the
he can
problem is, how has he survived? Because I think if that had been anybody else, they would have been out of there.
I'm gonna tell you how he survived. I'm gonna tell you how he survived. Some ever came up missing at your house, and you be like, "Nah, can't nobody leave."
Right.
So he's holding everybody hostage.
Can't nobody leave till we find, you know what I mean?
What's going on?
And so it's kind of like, he messed us up, and nah, you can't go nowhere.
That's funny.
Yeah, you got to stay here, Slim.
We got a lot more on the way. We've got Ask Al out front, and also Ass of the Week, plus a lot more music. So stay tuned to the Al Rucker Show.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. You guys, myself, Al Rucker, Nikki Woods, Seven the Poet,
Say mine.
comedian Keisha Hunt, and Nikki, who is this beautiful young lady on the screen.
We have comedian. It's Chi-Town in the house. Also LA in the house. She's now in LA, but she is a comedian from Chicago. Her name is Taquita Love. She has done so many phenomenal things that I am super excited to have her on the show. She was ready when I made the call, and I love it. And so we wanted to talk a little bit about relationships, but you've got a lot of background. You're like a nurse, and you've done a lot of different stuff in your life. How did you get to comedy?
Yeah. I got to comedy on accident. It was not on purpose. My background is nursing, and I would do stuff for my patients that other people wouldn't do. Like, I would rap, I would sing, I would freestyle with them in the middle of the night. And so I kind of had like a sense of humor that nobody else had. I worked with kids with cancer, so that was kind of like the alter ego part of me to help deal with that part. Then I did improv, and nobody said like my characters were funny. Everybody liked my stories, so I became more of a storyteller. And that's the short answer.
Yeah, and I mean, you've done Funny or Die. You've been on all sorts of shows. You're a graduate of Second City, and yeah, she's done a lot, improv and sketch writing. I mean, you have done it all, and so I'm super glad that you are here. But I was watching this documentary, and it was trying to break down like all the ways that you can know when your mate is cheating. And so I wanted to get everybody's opinion on what like they think is the top way you can figure out if your mate is cheating. The number one way.
I think the number one way is the one we all ignore, is that intuition, that little feeling in your gut, and then be hurt, ignore it, like you know it ain't right. But then when you call him and then he don't answer his phone, but then you check on Facebook and he on, and like I feel like that's his name.
Oh God, I hate that little green dot now.
I know you're on there, but wait,
you can turn it off.
If that's the case, I stay cheating. But look here, cause I just don't feel like answering the phone sometimes.
Right.
You know how I know you cheating? When you go on a girl's trip, but you the only one in the pictures.
But
Right.
When you went on the
And
girls,
who taking the picture?
right? Who
Oh,
taking
all
the
the girls. It's just you.
or every
I
pic is just a
agree.
selfie.
I had a friend that did that. It was so funny. It's like you knew she was with her boo, but it was like it was just her, like all over the. I was like, that is so
Yeah,
funny
you
to me.
cheat.
That is so true. But you know what? I was going to say about intuition, it's interesting because I was telling my girlfriend the other day because she was talking about going through her man's phone. And I was like, well, why do you think you need to go through your man's phone? And she's like, just because I feel something. I was like, well, you just need to go with that. That's your
Right.
intuition that
You
is
don't need to
kicking
go
in.
to the phone.
No.
If you feel like you need to go to the phone, then it's something ain't right.
No, you just don't want to do that. I mean, if you look for anything, you're gonna find something.
Absolutely.
You're gonna find something.
I tell
Even
you.
if they not doing anything, you're gonna find something that
Man,
you're not gonna like.
I tell before you go through the phone, just go play in traffic.
Right.
It's gonna be about the same amount of pain.
Be
It's
ready.
gonna be about the same amount of pain.
But
Go
it's
looking for
interesting because like the top 3 reasons had to do with the phone. So like they said, if they're paying too much attention to their phone, be aware. If they're never near their phone, be aware. It's like phones are just jacking up relationships.
You know the thing, the hardest part or the worst part about the phone is when they take it and they put it face down, but they put it face down in your face because it's like whatever they was just looking at, they know if you see it, you're not gonna like it.
Let me
ahead.
comment. I put my phone face down because of how I save my contacts.
Right.
Because if I'm in a business meeting with you and
we land next to each other. If we land next to each other and you're on your phone and then all of a sudden it got to go face down.
Well, no,
That's how I charge it.
I mean,
So you saying if a man or woman take their phone and do it face down, they cheating?
I said that's a sign they hiding something.
I agree. But see, Seven's point was that he stores us under names that are probably not all that flattering. He still will not tell me what I'm stored in as, in his phone. Do you want to tell us now?
No, you don't want to know.
See, I don't.
You don't want to know that name.
Oh my goodness. But
No.
I think phones and social media, because like you said, I mean, I am so mad that Facebook now puts that little green dot if you happen to be
my God.
online.
You can turn that off, right?
Yeah, but that's how I call
I
my
don't know.
ex up. That's how I call him up.
On
I
Facebook?
kept calling him and he didn't answer, and I just drove over his house. He was still up. He was on Facebook chatting away.
This should be the sign of the psycho.
Yes.
The psycho woman.
Yeah.
This-
You just show up
Facebook
at the
triggered her
house.
to drive.
Signs of your woman being psycho. What
That
time of
is
the
funny.
night was that?
It was like 3. Like if you don't have that good night call.
So it was 3 in the morning?
That good night call.
3 in the morning?
Yeah, 3 a.m.
Oh Lord, yeah, that's psycho.
Yeah, we're
But if I ain't talked to him the whole night,
But you know you thought something was wrong with him?
no, I had the intuition first. That's what I'm telling you. And then that green dot on Facebook told me to go.
That green dot gonna get people messed
The
up.
green
it is
dot.
gonna be the death of some
The
folks.
green dot.
Takeda Love, thank you so much for joining us. How can we connect with you on social media?
You guys, I'm on Facebook as Taquita Love. I'm also on Instagram is at
Detroit.
Taqueet, TAQWEET.
Taqueet. Isn't that cute?
And I have a website, taquitalove.com. You can find everything about me, where I'm performing and everything on that.
Awesome. Next time we're out in LA, we'll have to come check you out. Very good.
Yeah.
We're glad to
Thank you guys so much.
We appreciate having you on. So now we know phones are going to mess us up. Social media is going to mess us up. Facebook Live is going to mess Seven up because he's on it right now.
Yeah, y'all are crazy. I still can't get over the fact that this lady got out of her bed at 3:00 in the morning and drove
Because of
this
a
man
green dot.
for a green dot.
She is not alone. Crazy. No, I know. I've never done it. I'm not getting out of my bed at 3:00 in the morning to go check on some dude, but other people will.
Wow.
Other people will.
So when
I'll do it.
one question: when you got there, did you stay the night or did you go back home?
She didn't even get out the car.
I stayed the night for the last time.
Wait. the last time on him, or you was like the last time on you?
It was last time on. You know it's over before it's over. I knew it was over. I was just like, let me see what he's doing.
Thank you so much, Takeda Love.
So she stayed the night to go on and just let them know this is it. We over with. But I'm staying the night. I'm gonna spend the night with you tonight.
Right. Boy.
All right, we got.
You exit. That's how you exit strong.
All right. Thank you so much, Takeda. We got more of the Al Rucker Show on the way. We've got lots of good commentary. We're going to talk more about this clearly because you scared. Look at
That's
Seven.
I ain't
Seven want to know.
scared.
Seven
We'll be
ain't
back
scared.
with more of the Al Rucker Show.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. 7 the Poet,
Say mine.
comedian Keisha Hunt. Almost forgot. And Nikki Woods and myself.
Yes.
What we got going on, Nick?
Well, we were on a road trip.
We
went on a road trip. We were in Northwestern.
We
When
were-
I
That says
tell
so
you-
much.
Oh my goodness. But what I figured out, I didn't tell you this, Al, because I had called Al while we were driving down to Northwestern State
Yeah.
University because we were there for their homecoming and we were going to do the radio show live on campus. And Elise and I, who also helps produce the show, we were driving down and it was scary. It was like Get Out. Like there was nothing. We lost cell phone service for an hour. So I called Al. I'm like, Al, this is what you're going to have to deal with when you come down. And so whatever. So on the way back, we figured out that nobody went the way we went. Like we went a completely different way.
Which way did y'all go?
We don't know, but we did not go because we didn't pass that big long bridge. We didn't go over any of that. We didn't see water at all.
Wow. So how long did it take you guys to get back?
Well, we went the same way you went on the way back, but when
Okay.
we went down there, that's why I was telling you how
Okay, yeah.
scary it
Yeah,
was.
okay, yeah.
and,
So,
and
yeah.
Let me tell you something. I don't care about none of your little scary stories. None of that. Because soon as I get to Northwestern, Al and Nikki look at me and say, want to go on a plantation tour? Man, nah.
And they said it like that.
Nah, I don't want to go on no plantation tour. We walking down the street, man. They got pictures of slaves in the window. Like
They do.
They
Oh,
do.
nah.
They do.
Yeah.
They still alive down
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
What-
They got plantation tours and plantation stores.
And so the name of the
Stores?
city
Yeah.
is.
What do you buy?
Natchitoches.
Oh,
Nac-
whip.
So Natchitoches,
Louisiana.
Natchitoches is the oldest settlement in
Louisiana.
Louisiana. And it wasn't a plantation. It was like a plantation memorabilia store. It's like you could take a keepsake home, but
Yeah.
it was
Like,
I don't want
they-
nothing from the store.
They had whips that still had flesh on the whips.
oh no, they
Look,
did not.
Take this whip home.
Oh,
I
my
can
God.
remind
So now,
you.
now it's it's homecoming season. This is a homecoming over here and homecoming over there. In my head, I went to a HBCU, so I'm thinking, look, no,
No,
Yeah,
right.
Northwestern is not an HBCU.
Yeah.
can't be.
It's not HBCU.
It is not an HBCU, but we have got to give big ups to Nicole and the Black Alliance
She did her
alumni.
thing. She did her thing.
She put together a phenomenal 3-day just extravaganza. We had a comedy show Thursday night. We did the show live Friday. We had a step show and performance by G from Silk and also our very own Seven the Poet Friday night. And then the game and stuff was Saturday. But, we don't care about the little game for homecoming. I'm just joking. So it was a good deal. But, I mean, Nicole really did. And it's rare that you find somebody so organized but so fun at the same time. Usually
Yeah.
they're like one or the other. She was both. So it was really cool.
Shouts out to the AKAs that attended the radio show. They made it an experience.
They did, but and we're
did.
gonna talk about that
AKAs.
next hour because we actually have audio from a couple of the AKs that we are going to share.
Do you have the one that was looked
Yes.
like she was finna date rape Al?
Oh.
Al decided he wanted to go into the audience because we had an audience and there were two AKs and they had left a chair between them
Uh-oh.
for a good reason, I'm sure. And Al went into the audience to ask a couple questions, and we look up, and it is like AKA sandwich. Like Al is just in between, shoved in there. We're like, okay. But we're going to talk about that because we had a great discussion about whether or not, older men, younger women, all that kind of stuff. But Nicole did, come on the show. She talked to us and she really explained why she does this and some things that are going on. So I wanted just to, everybody to hear a little bit from Nicole and why she is so passionate about Northwestern State University and why she continues to do her thing for homecoming. So here's Nicole. All right.
Yeah.
So good stuff.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I think even before we go to break, didn't they renamed the scholarship after her, right?
The endowment. Yes.
Yeah, they
That
did.
is awesome.
Oh, y'all were gone.
We were gone.
Yeah,
That
man.
is awesome.
Yeah, they renamed it.
They renamed.
She didn't know anything about it.
Oh, that's awesome. She deserves it.
I just want to pat myself on the back because as a host, I was just on my note all the way across. Like, so her one of the board members told me that they were going to announce, the name change. I just slid on in the back and stood on stage with the tissue because I knew the waterworks.
Yeah, the waterworks was coming. They came too.
Perfect. Well, we are going to talk more about what we did at Northwestern State University. We're going to talk about some of the conversations we had, but we've got a lot of music on the way. We've still got some great segments, including Ask Al, Out Front, also Ass of the Week, all that. So stay tuned to the Al Rucker Show.
Thank you for tuning in for a second hour of the Al Rucker Show. And as always, you got, I'm going to go to my right this time. You got Nikki Woods.
Yes.
Seven the Poet.
Say mine.
And our favorite niece few,
Yes.
Our only niece few.
comedian Keisha Hunt.
I ain't better done.
Unc T.
Right. That was but the unk came first on that
unk
one.
came
All right, okay.
So what we got going on this second hour, Nikki?
Well, we are going to go back to Northwestern State University, and we're going to share some of our the fun that we had, some of the conversations that we had. Also, we're going to help solve some problems with Ask Al. We're going to go out front with one of my favorite health nuts, because she is a nut. Her name is Concita Thomas, and we're going to be talking about lifestyle changes, and then also Ass of the Week. And I've got a good one. I've got a petty one for you today. A petty one. A petty Ass of the Week. He's an Ass of the Week because he's been so petty. Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Wow, I wonder
Not
who
you,
that is.
Seven. Don't be concerned. Seven look like
Pow, pow.
right.
Shots fired.
I don't necessarily like that.
No, not gonna be you. Not gonna be you. We've had a lot of new music today, and this next song is from Mariah Carey. So we had Freddie Jackson had new music. Mariah Carey's got new music. It's called "With You." Lots of great music on the show, but we will be right back to talk more about Northwestern State University after this on the Al Rucker Show.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. And we are at this segment called what, Nikki? I can't remember.
we don't call it anything.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
but
it's
nobody
like-
call it a segment. But we've been talking about dating older and
And I
younger.
guess it could be a hot topic. So we were at Northwestern State University, and we had this fascinating discussion because we had such a wide range of people there. We had students, we had alumni, and so we started talking about whether or not it was okay to date older men, date younger women. It was just a whole thing. And so we had discussion. We had some very lively conversation. Did you give an opinion?
They turned my mic off.
Yeah.
I bet they did.
They turned my mic
I
off.
bet they did.
They ain't like what I had to say, but it was the truth.
It was the
It
truth.
was God honest.
Well, what was it? Share it with us. We want to hear now.
So you about to say you can give me that dirty look again? Like, we can't take you nowhere.
That's
how
the
she
look
looked
she
at
give
me,
you.
man. I was like, well, I mean, you know.
He is like the wandering soul. It's like, you try to do a radio show, you look up, he's in the back with the cues, and then he's over at the side getting a piece of watermelon, and then I was just
Or he
like,
sleep.
really? Or he sleep.
I took a nap
He
in the
was
middle of the show.
behind the chairs
crazy.
sleeping.
He took it. Yeah.
Get
He
it
was
in where you
behind
fit
the
in, bruh.
chairs. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Listen, if y'all can walk and type,
On the treadmill.
I can be on the show, woke and sleep.
Woke and sleep at the same time.
I'm glad I shared
Word of
that
the day.
story with you because we're going to talk to Concita about that in a little bit. But we did have somebody who, because we did not have Seven as present as he normally is, we had somebody in the crowd, an AKA, who had a lot to say about this particular subject.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. Seven the Poet,
Say
Nikki
mine.
Woods, comedian Keisha Hunt, and yours truly, Al Rucker. And this beautiful young lady name is...
Concita Thomas.
There you go.
She is a phenomenal woman out of Dallas, Texas. She's a mother. She does a lot of stuff, but the thing that I love her for most is that she keeps us on track when it comes to our health. She is... Ooh. That's my phone. She is a food and fitness strategist, and she runs ConcitaThomas.com. She's on a mission to help busy career women and female entrepreneurs look and feel fierce without making the process a second job. She sent me recently a Stay Fierce mug that I use every morning to remind myself to stay fierce. And so welcome to the show. We are going to go out front with Concita Thomas.
Yes.
Keisha Hunt.
Yeah. Look at you.
Thanks for having me here, guys.
So I saw a study, and I couldn't think of a better person to discuss it with than Concita, but it is a study, and the headline says, not exercising is worse for your health than smoking, diabetes, and heart disease. This is according to a study. Now, we've all heard the saying, or people say all the time that exercise will help us live longer. Well, now it's going one step further, finding that a sedentary lifestyle is worse for your health than all of those things that I just named. And this was done at the Cleveland Clinic by a cardiologist. And clearly people are finding these results surprising, I would say.
Yeah, I would say surprising too. When you sent me that study, I was surprised. And I love exercise. I love to get people moving. And it still raised an eyebrow for me.
So what do you think that is attributed to? I mean, they were saying almost like that a sedentary lifestyle should be treated like a disease.
Right. Now, I do agree with that. I definitely agree with that because so many lifestyle diseases, diabetes, blood pressure, cholesterol, if they can't be completely reversed or avoided by exercise because of maybe genetics or true genetic family history, the effects can definitely be lessened by consistent exercise, eating right, all of that great stuff. So I definitely think that being sedentary, that is something that should be diagnosed. And just as the study suggested, that the prescription is exercise. Even as personal trainers, when we take on new clients, that's one of the things that we're supposed to consider as a risk factor to decide how quickly or if at all we're able to move people into a vigorous exercise program, whether or not they're sedentary. So already in the fitness world, being sedentary is treated as a risk factor. So I don't think that that's very far-fetched at all.
Well, it was interesting because, I mean, when I started, I used to do boot camp with Concita. And that's a whole nother story. But I started having some back issues, not because of that, but just because of all the wear and tear, I think, on your body. And I started to do some research to figure out what I could do to kind of reverse that. And they were saying that sitting is like the worst thing you can do for your back. That's like the worst thing. And I was just like so shocked because I know everybody stand up. And so now that's why you have like the treadmill desk and you have the desk where you can stand because.
The treadmill desk.
You've never seen that? It's a desk on a treadmill, so you can do your work while you're walking on a treadmill.
That's crazy.
I almost got one, and then I was like, "This is crazy."
I mean, crazy. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I use it. It works. Listen.
So are you sitting down and just moving your legs?
No, you're actually It's a treadmill. You are actually walking on a treadmill.
And it's a desktop.
And there's a desk. You can put your computer on it. They're putting it in office spaces now so that the workers can have a healthier lifestyle but still be productive.
Okay.
No, absolutely.
It works.
Yeah. And there's a writer that I know, and she's also an editor. She's like, I edit books like this. She walks on the treadmill and she's editing books. I mean, it's a thing. Wow. It's a thing.
I wish you would try to say you can't exercise and work.
Right.
You better get this.
There are no excuses. And so one of the things that Concita is really good at is taking you from sedentary to moving in a way that your body will not be shocked. So for people that are just leading a sedentary lifestyle, and I'm assuming that means that you're sitting the majority of the day, correct? So
and so the funny thing is, and let's not skip over this too, there are people that go to the gym who are leading a sedentary lifestyle, and that gets overlooked. If you're going to the gym twice a week and getting in a really good 30-minute workout, but the rest of your week looks like what I'm doing right now, sitting, you're not active. You're not active. A construction worker is more active than you, even if he never goes to the gym.
So then tell us, what is an active, like how many minutes should you be moving a day to be considered active?
So literally, you know I'm big on this daily movement. So actually walking every day, I'm sure you can see on any website, everybody talks about 10K steps a day, which is approximately 5 miles. Which may be a little bit hard to get if you live in the suburbs and you drive most places. But with my clients, the first milestone that we work up to is 5K a day, 2.5 miles a day. And you really can, if you're intentional, get that without even suiting up and going for a formal workout. It's literally just about picking the bad spot, right? When you're going to stores, maybe walking over to the coworker's desk instead of sending that email, unless it's one of those emails that, needs to be documented. And really just taking the longer way places. You can easily rack up 2.5 miles, 5K steps a day.
I was going to say, I do that in Walmart. Like I can knock out 5K in Walmart.
Exactly. But think about the days, and Nikki, you're different. You work out. But if you think about the days that maybe we're not going to Walmart, or you're someone who doesn't have to walk really for anything. Like I live in Dallas. I don't really have to walk anywhere unless I purposely try. I'm a fitness professional, and I found that there were days that I was getting less than 3,000 steps outside of my workout. So it's really easy to be sedentary and not even realize it. And especially if you're hitting the gym 2 times a week, 3 times a week for 30 minutes, you can think, oh, I'm leading an active lifestyle. And really, you're not.
Okay. And this is for the woman who created a workout for the airport because she was in airport so much.
Now, listen. Because I feel like now my life ain't about nothing.
It ain't right.
Okay. So I used to work out every 12 hours.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but in between them workouts, I just be chilling. Is that
Right.
sedentary?
If you're working out every 12 hours, okay, so that's twice a day. You probably do not qualify as sedentary, right?
Okay. Just help me
But
out
we're
there.
talking about those typical busy working folk that live in the suburbs. Maybe they're not in a New York City or a DC where they're taking the metros and the trains and having to walk. It's very easy for us to be sedentary, going to the gym 2-3 times a week. Very easy.
One of the best cures is to follow Concita on social media. You are Concita Thomas everywhere, right?
I'm Concita Thomas everywhere.
All right, and she does a phenomenal job. She's got challenges. She does exercise. She helps you fit figure-friendly foods into your meals so that you can be fit as well. So definitely follow her. I appreciate you. Thank you for all the information on sedentary. We're gonna get everybody a treadmill desk in here so that we can do
Absolutely not. Because
Right.
if my let me tell you one
Or
thing.
elliptical
I like to
whatever.
run outside. If my foot come down sideways, it's treadmill burn on my chin.
Thank you so much, Concita. We still have Ask Al on the way and also a lot of great music, so don't go anywhere. This is the Al Rucker Show.
Awesome. Thank you for tuning into the Al Rucker Show, and we're at that segment we call Ask Al, which happens to be everybody's favorite segment.
It is everybody's favorite segment.
Yeah. So what we got going on?
It says, Dear Al and crew, I had a girlfriend for about 3 years. Then in 2006, she called me and told me she was pregnant. I asked her if the baby was mine, and she said no. Lately, I've been thinking that I shouldn't have asked her, and perhaps the reason she said no is because she felt insulted by my question. It's been 9 years, and I can't shake the feeling that her daughter, who was born approximately 9 months after the last time we were together, might really be mine. She seems to look like me. My ex is now married to a guy who isn't her daughter's biological father. Should I find out if I am indeed the father, or would it be best if I just leave it be? She hasn't said anything about her daughter being mine, but I would like to know for my own peace of mind. I don't want to cause any problems, especially since we're still friends. What should I do? Signed, Confused for Too Long.
Keep your mouth quiet. Just be quiet. I mean, she said it's not yours, it's not yours. This is evidently a white boy. This ain't a black boy.
Why? Because you don't think a black man would want to know if it's his child?
If you ask a woman, is this my child, and she told you no, I don't know what.
And
black
a woman
man,
has never lied about paternity.
Most
but-
men,
but
most
she gonna-
men, bro, they gonna take that woman. It ain't
Okay, that's what I'm saying. This is okay, it ain't mine.
Cool.
If she said it's not yours, it's not yours.
But now I don't know if it's like, for example, we have children.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends who can't have children,
Mm-hmm.
and they, so you don't know what the thing is. Bro, if you want to know, take a piece of the kid hair, go see.
Right.
And I would do it without telling the kid, but I think the first thing that popped into my mind was, what happens if, like, she gets divorced, something happens, and then, like, 18 years down the line, she decides that she wants to find out if you're the father or not. And then if you are the father, think of all of the ramifications of that legally and not legally.
Yeah, but I mean, my thing is, this is a crazy question. At the end of the day, if you asked her and she said no, leave it alone.
I say leave it alone.
But it's not. But it won't matter if, like I said, maybe one day she does want to find out, and it is yours.
You better go on.
Legally, it doesn't matter if she told you it wasn't or not. You're still the biological father.
Which is true. I mean, just wait for that time. We'll cross that bridge if it comes up.
Okay, cross that bridge.
Yeah,
I think that if I was the father and possibly I had a child, I would want to know.
But guess what, though, Nikki?
I'm not the father.
You are not the father.
You're not
I
the
am
father.
not the father.
And at the end of the day, if he, somebody else, I'm sure somebody got to be on the birth certificate. She put somebody on the birth certificate. Could be that situation. It could be a lot of things going on.
I mean, it could be, but I think if it's bothering you, then, like I said, I wouldn't involve the child.
Go get a girlfriend, brother. He needs a woman. Just go get another woman, and you ask your woman and say, "Hey, look, I asked her, was this my baby?" And she told me no. What you think I ought to do? What she gonna say?
They wanted to ask you, Al.
I just said.
Okay.
Well, at the end of the day, leave it alone, brother.
Well, that's interesting, though.
Leave it alone, Tommy. Yeah, leave it alone. Leave it alone, Henry.
Best of luck to
I had
you
the
in
same
your
problem.
Leave it alone, Bob.
You have paternity issues too?
Yes.
Yes.
I have a baby daddy and a baby mama.
Yes.
I don't even know what to say to you at times.
Oh, her baby daddy crazy.
Yep.
She done been to jail over that.
Twice.
You've been to jail twice?
You know
over
when you
that?
start looking like a dude. They treat you like one. Twice.
Have they evidently just accidentally put you in the men's cell?
No.
Bro.
No.
Come on.
Bet you be
no.
fighting to get up out that book.
We don't wish that. Hey, no. But I've been in there twice for child support.
Really?
Okay, wait. Let's.
Yes, yeah.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
twice. I've been locked up twice. 6 months. That means a year.
How far? Right of your life? How old?
Man, I was
were
wondering
you?
where you was at.
I was locked up for not. Hey, he wanted
how
money, man.
Like, how many payments did you miss before they lock you up? I didn't even know they really did
No,
that.
it's really up to the other parent. You could, I think it's like up to 10,000 or something like that. But it could do it. They could, if the other parents say lock her up, he locked me up for $1,500.
That's crazy.
I didn't know that.
Yep. He got all his money though. I don't
Look at
play
that.
around.
I didn't. That's good to know.
Nah, did you
Yep.
say $1,500?
$1,500. One of my homeboys say, "Man, tell the dude I got it in my pocket. Come holler at me." Straight up. But
Oh,
he
my
locked me
goodness.
up twice.
Well, we don't want this to be the end result of cuffing season, but we
Right.
are going to talk about cuffing season. We're going to talk about that
I should have
next.
cuffed him.
It sounds like you did. On the
No,
Al
it's
Rucker
not.
Show.
Oh,
You got
Nikki,
caught.
I did.
Nikki
Twice.
got one in.
What up, y'all? This comedian Keisha Hunt. Real quick, I'm gonna tell you about my mama. Okay, so I wear a muscle shirt a lot, and I go around my mama because I was trying something on in front of her, and she holding a cigarette, and she looking at me, and she say, "Look here. Now I know you like women and everything, but you're gonna have to shave up under your arms." I'm like, "Mama, okay." And I got me a razor, and I took care of that real quick. My thing is, I don't think anything. I think if I date a woman, I don't think that's because I got hair under my arms. I could keep hair under my arms because I don't like razor bumps. But my mama old school, so, she want to keep it like that.